Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today I will analyze the case of Candace Owens and Brigitte Macron. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the summary of the lawsuit, then offer my analysis. Candace Owens was born in 1989 in White Plains, New York. She was raised in Stamford, Connecticut. In 2007, she graduated from high school. Candace went to college, but she dropped out during her junior year. In 2015, Candace started a marketing agency which featured anti-conservative and anti-Trump content. In 2016, she started a website project where she planned on running public shaming campaigns. These would have involved republishing offensive posts to the website and identifying people who made the posts. The idea was controversial, and the website was never created. The outrage against Candace led to her becoming a conservative. She said that she realized that liberals were actually the racists and the trolls. In August 2017, Candace Owens started a YouTube channel where she posted conservative and pro-Trump content, the opposite of what she had promoted before. She became popular among some Republicans and even considered running for office. For example, she was interested in becoming a senator, a governor, or even the president of the United States. Starting in 2021, Candace hosted a show on the Daily Wire. She was fired in March 2024. After this, she started a new YouTube channel where she posted far-right content. The channel promotes a number of well-known conspiracy theories and many other bizarre beliefs. She has interviewed people like Andrew Tate, Alex Jones, and Russell Brand. At the time I'm making this video, Candace Owens has about 4.5 million subscribers. Here are a few examples of her video titles that I think sum up her channel pretty well. Rappers exposed demonic agenda in music. Former CIA officer exposes the shadow government. The shocking satanic origins of NASA. More shocking revelations about 9/11. Feminism is the #1 attack on family. Candace reacts to childless woman. And I got a legal threat from a sitting president. The last video title brings me to the topic of this video. In March of 2024, Candace Owens made a bizarre claim about a woman named Brigitte Macron, who was the wife of Emmanuel Macron, the president of France. Candace falsely claimed that Brigitte was actually a man. Brimming with confidence, Candace stated that she would stake her entire professional reputation on the fact that Brigitte Macron is, in fact, a man. That seems like a pretty low wager to me, not a very exciting bet. In July 2025, Emmanuel and Brigitte filed a 219-page lawsuit against Candace, alleging defamation. Here is a summary of the lawsuit. Brigitte Macron was born on April 13, 1953, in France. She was born a woman, and she was the youngest of 6 children. Her family was prominent in the chocolate manufacturing business. She married her first husband in 1974 and had 3 children. Brigitte started teaching at a Catholic high school in the early 1990s. There she met Emmanuel Macron. He was 15 years old. Through the school's theater program, Brigitte and Emmanuel developed a deeper intellectual connection. At all times, the teacher-student relationship remained within the bounds of the law. Even so, when Emmanuel's parents found out about his strong feelings for Brigitte, they transferred him to a school in Paris. Emmanuel went to college and earned a master's degree. He started working as a finance inspector. In 2006, Brigitte divorced her husband. In 2007, she married Emmanuel. Brigitte was 54 and Emmanuel was 29. Emmanuel went on to have incredible success. He worked as an investment banker, an economic advisor to the President of France, was appointed Minister of the Economy, and in May 2017, he was elected President of France. The lawsuit indicated that his wife Brigitte is a strong, independent woman who refuses to be limited by traditional roles. Sometime around March 2021, a self-described independent journalist named Natasha Ray posted on Facebook claiming that Brigitte was a transgender woman perpetrating identity theft. A few months later, Natasha and another individual published an article in a far-right magazine making the same claim. In December 2021, Natasha appeared on a YouTube channel operated by a self-described spiritual medium named Amadine Roy. During a 4-hour interview, Natasha repeated the defamatory claim, stating that Brigitte was born a male and stole the identity of Brigitte. In September 2024, a French court ruled that Natasha and Amadine defamed Brigitte. The court overturned this judgment in July 2025, and the case is under appeal, but the reason for overturning the judgment was not based on the statements being true. Candace Owens used the false claims made by Natasha and Amadine as the basis for her own defamation campaign against Brigitte. The false claims were promoted in several ways. For example, on her podcast, which is titled Candace, on her YouTube channel, and during interviews with various people like Piers Morgan. She even sold a t-shirt featuring Brigitte on a fake Time magazine Man of the Year cover. Emmanuel and Brigitte sent a retraction demand to Candace in December 2024. Instead of retracting the false claims, Candace tried to use the demand letter to gain more attention. She told her viewers all about it, although she misrepresented what it contained. For example, Candace claimed that the Macrons strenuously requested that she not publicize the demand letter. This is an exaggeration. The first page of the letter had the heading, "Confidential, not for publication or attribution." This hardly seems like a strenuous request. Undeterred by the demand letter, Candace launched an 8-part series in January 2025. Here are some of the false claims that Candace made in this series. Brigitte was born a man, stole another person's identity, and transitioned to become Brigitte. The Macrons are surrounded by criminals who intimidate people who are trying to expose the truth. Brigitte wore scarves when she was a teacher to hide signs of surgeries she had to make her look more feminine. She and her husband are blood relatives committing incest. Emmanuel was selected to serve as the president of France as part of a CIA-operated MK-Ultra program. An unknown secret group of elites controls him. Brigitte and her husband committed forgery, fraud, and abused their power to conceal these secrets. In July 2025, the Macrons delivered another retraction demand letter to Candace. She responded by saying, "File your lawsuits, my friend." That's exactly what the Macrons did. Their lawsuit argues that Candace's claims are demonstrably false, and Candace knew they were false when she published them. Her motive was the pursuit of fame and money. Now moving to my analysis. Did Candace Owens defame Emmanuel and Brigitte Macron? In my opinion, yes. It seems pretty clear that she did. Not only did Candace repeatedly state that Brigitte was a man, she connected this to a bizarre conspiracy theory which further damaged the reputation of the Macrons. For example, saying they were involved in the CIA, with mind control, and with other nonsense. This fits into Candace's far-right beliefs. It supports her theory that a group of secretive, evil elites are running the world, or trying to run the world. They have infiltrated all levels of the government and somehow achieved their goals by having a man pretend to be a woman. It's amazing that these elites supposedly have billions of dollars and a well-developed and sophisticated infrastructure, yet their operations would require the First Lady of France concealing her sex from the public. This is what Candace believes, or at least what she promotes in her videos. Brigitte is a public figure, so her protection against defamation is more limited than a private citizen. In order for Candace to be found liable for defamation, there must be actual malice. This means that when Candace made the false claims, she knew they were false, or had a reckless disregard for the truth. Short of Candace admitting it, proving she had knowledge of the falsity is difficult. However, there isn't much doubt that she had a reckless disregard for the truth. On several occasions, Candace was provided evidence contradicting her claims, yet she ignored it. She stated that no amount of evidence would convince her that Brigitte is a woman. I think this sums up Candace's reasoning ability pretty well. She's just another anti-science nonsense broker promoting false claims to make money on social media. Moving to my next question, what do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. Early in her career, Candace Owens learned that a person could make a lot of money by promoting controversial political views on social media. At first, she was dead set on criticizing conservatives, but then became angry at liberals when they denounced her controversial idea of a public shaming website. Candace established herself as a far-right political commentator and had a decent amount of success. She promoted many of the major conspiracy theories that her audience wanted to hear about, like the claim that the moon landing was faked. As is the case with many people in this position, there is a desire to push the boundaries. If Candace simply offered garden-variety opinions, she would get a certain number of views. But if she offered fantastical, bizarre, and nonsensical opinions, her views would grow exponentially. She needed to uncover or invent a new conspiracy theory to dazzle her audience. Simply repeating this theory was not enough. Rather, it needed to become her signature work. She had to modify it, make it her own. When people hear about this theory, they would think of Candace. She would distinguish herself as an investigative journalist through her research and reporting on this new theory. Candace had expressed an interest in French politics, so when she heard the false claim that Brigitte was a man, it seemed like a good topic for her to cover. The circumstances surrounding Brigitte's relationship with Emmanuel made the topic even spicier. For example, the age difference between them and the fact that Brigitte had once been Emmanuel's teacher. Candace embraced this conspiracy theory and did make it her own. She modified and amplified the story, forming a new version, one that went far beyond whether Brigitte was a man or a woman, and exposed a network of evildoers who were trying to achieve world domination. Emmanuel and Brigitte told Candace to stop making the false claims, but Candace used this to get more views. She tried to play the victim and acted like, by asserting their rights, the Macrons somehow verified the legitimacy of the conspiracy theory. This is how nonsense brokers like Candace operate. Any evidence can be used to support the conspiracy theory, even someone filing a legitimate lawsuit for defamation. Candace is the one who is in the wrong, but she is blaming the people she victimized. In addition to being a victim, Candace is also a hero, at least in her mind. She has exposed the evildoers. Now she will gladly go to court and defend her quest for justice. I would be very surprised if Candace prevails in this lawsuit. Brigitte is definitely a controversial figure who made some curious choices as far as her romantic life, but her defamation case is straightforward. Brigitte may look like she lost a fight with a button machine in a military uniform factory, but she will not surrender in the battle against defamation. Those are my thoughts in the case of Candace Owens and Brigitte Macron. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Just a reminder that I have over 300 pre-release videos on my Patreon account. These videos are of the same quality as the videos I release to the public. When I put a video in pre-release status on Patreon, it usually stays there for several months, if not a year. I will put the link to Patreon in the description for this video.